Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, I want to get into why family sessions are so important. Now, as photographers, I think a lot of the times, anytime we go out to shoot, we want to be as creative as possible. We want to create these amazing images that we get credit for from other photographers or our friends and family and all that. Family sessions, I understand, are not going to be as creative, as wild when it comes to, the things that you're going to be able to try. Family sessions are more capturing moments and capturing a moment in time for these families. With that being said, I don't think it takes anything away from how important they really are. So in today's episode, I want to get into a few reasons why they're so important, and maybe you should consider them or see them in a slightly different light. The first one I would say is preserving memories. That one seems to be very obvious, but I think also at the same time, sometimes we don't think about that enough. We don't look at it from such a human element. So, for example, I've been photographing families, weddings, engagements, all that for almost 20 years. So there's a lot of families that I've photographed from maternity to first, second, third, fourth, fifth year, and now teenagers. So one thing that I think about is those families that I've been photographing for so long, they have these moments on their walls forever. Even for myself, I'll give you guys a couple of personal examples. So as some of you guys know, I was born in a different country. I was born in El Salvador, and El Salvador is a third world country, so there's not a lot of money there. So there's only one photo that I have of me as a baby with my mom and my brother. Come to think of it, I actually have no photos of myself and my dad. So I understand. I think that kind of put things in perspective for me, how important capturing those moments are. Because, obviously I'm never going to be that age again. I'm never going to be that small again. And it just gave me a glimpse as to what my mom looked like when she was young, what my brother looked like when he was a kid. And before my nose got so big, what I looked like as a baby. So I think, thinking of those things when you're shooting, putting yourself in the shoes of these families as they're growing, as they're making their families, I think it makes a big difference as to how you approach them. Another personal example is Tank. Tank is my baby Sharpay. He's not a baby anymore. He's 11 years old. And when we got him, he was just a tiny little 10-pound puppy. And he's never going to be that size again. And that's why anytime I see somebody post a photo with their puppy, I'm always like, hey, dude, let's do a family session or even just a little session with you and your dog, because in 2 months, that dog is going to double in size and it's not going to be that puppy anymore. And I'm just so happy that I have those photos of Tank, of him as a baby. And any family that you guys photograph, I promise you that they're grateful. They're grateful when you do it, but they're going to be grateful 5 years from now when they look back and they see how small their kids were and how big they are now, how they're never going to be those little babies that they had in those photos, but they have those photos forever. Number 2 on the list on why family sessions are so important, I wrote documenting milestones. So what I mean by this, it's pretty obvious, but even on one end or the other end, right? So we did photograph one of our photographers. We photographed their maternity session to basically the last, I think it's been like 4 or 5 years that we've done family sessions every single year. So we've seen the progression of their family grow from maternity to firstborn to secondborn, and then doing them, a couple of times after that, a couple more sessions. And then on the other side, over the weekend, we photographed an 82nd birthday party for one of our clients. They hired us to go in and photograph their grandmother's birthday party. Oh no, it was his mother's birthday party. 82nd birthday party. It's a beautiful thing. She's seeing her friends that maybe she hasn't seen in a very long time. She's seeing relatives that she hasn't seen in a very long time. And just capturing those milestones is just such an important thing that we do that I think sometimes we forget because we're trying to be creative or artistic or whatever the case may be. But there are times that we're just capturing those moments, and those photos are probably more important than you threw some crazy lighting and you got a cool silhouette. You know what I mean? Like, those are fun, but what's really important is the families. And then another thing that I wrote is building connections among families. And this one I thought was interesting because there are many times, especially this time of the year when it's near Thanksgiving here in America, and families are gathering. So maybe babies are meeting grandparents for the first time. Families are seeing each other for the first time in years, because you guys know how it is. Once you build your own family, you go your separate ways, you move around in the country, and it's very rare to bring everybody together. So when that happens, I love that because the first thing that I do is I photograph the whole group together and then I split them up. So if we're doing the whole group, we do the whole group and then we split up by each family. So we'll do big group, then we'll split up the first family with mom and dad. Let's say they have 2 kids. We'll do that. Then we'll do mom with both kids. Then we'll do mom with each kid. And then we'll do dad with both kids, dad with each kid again. We'll do just the kids together. We'll do just the parents together. So basically giving them as many combinations as you possibly can. And then I always ask, once we've done that with all the families, I go, are there any additional groups that you guys would like? And many times they'll do, oh yeah, let's do grandparents with all the kids, or we'll do grandparents with just their kids, or, you know, things like that, or just the cousins. So it's just a nice way of capturing all different types of combinations. And then also, you know, like there are some relatives who may not even know each other that well, and this is a reason why they come together. So it's just they're catching up over, you know, what's been going on over the year if they don't talk that often. So I think it's a really nice side part that we don't really think about when we're shooting them. We think we're just there to photograph a family and go home and all that, but it's just a nice moment for all the family to come together. Now, sometimes they just want to be done with it and move on. That has happened too, where they just show up and they're like, oh, are we done yet? I'm like, all right, you know, but it is what it is. But I promise you, years down the line, they're going to appreciate that they did it. So just something to keep in mind. And going off of that, sometimes family sessions, this is number 4, they become a tradition. So not only does it become a tradition with the families coming together, but for myself personally, it's become a tradition with some families that I get to see them every year. Jenny and Pulotu, I've been shooting them since their engagement session. Diana and Nick, I've been shooting them since their engagement session. That was, I think, like 10 or 11 years ago. And now I see them every single year. And we do a family session. I get to see them. We catch up. It's all smiles. And it's just a very positive environment. So it becomes a really nice tradition of seeing people that you become friends with. And they appreciate what you do. They let you do what you love to do for a living, you know? So I don't take that for granted either. So I think it's just a really nice moment. And I don't think any of us should take that for granted if we do this for a living. So, I mean, in conclusion, these are 4 reasons. I could go and give you guys 10 different reasons, but I don't want to make these videos super long. But try to keep this in mind, guys. If you go out and you shoot a family session, try to remember what this family session really means. It's not just a job. It's not just something that you do. If you do look at it that way and you don't really like doing family sessions, go and shoot more engagement sessions. Go and shoot more weddings. Push yourself in that. One thing that I genuinely believe is that there is no shortage of work out there if you really look for it. So if you absolutely despise family sessions, don't do them. Let somebody else do them who actually enjoys doing those things. And do something that fulfills you. Now, for the rest of you guys and the rest of us who actually do enjoy it, I would say try to keep these things in mind next time you go out and shoot, because there are very important things that I think maybe sometimes we can forget unless we've done it for so long and appreciate what we're doing and appreciate the reason that they're calling us to do these things. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, any comments, please leave them down below. We're going to be posting a lot more moving forward because now we got an editor. Thank you, Craig. And yeah, let's keep this moving forward. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Thank you again for watching.